Well, it's not working out great for China right now, is it? It looks like with China no longer responding and a 245% tariff sitting on their head, they're in a lot of trouble. So, what is up, guys? Welcome on back to the news with TK. And yeah, I mean, there's really no other way to put this, right? China is in a bad spot right now, and it's of their own making. The president, when he came out and put these initial tariffs out, basically said he was rewarding the people that did not retaliate, and China was the first to come back and say, boom, 84% tariff. Then we got to what, 125% tariff, and now the U.S. is at a 245% tariff on China products. Nothing is moving out of ports. The stress and anxiety on what's going on inside the country in China right now is insane. Now, what's crazy is if you look at any of their state-run media, which, by the way, they operate all of that, everything seems to be fine. But when you look at the other people on social media, whether you're looking at Baidu or any of the other sites and people that I've spoken to through WeChat that live over there, the unrest is happening every single day. But this has been happening for a while with the real estate market, where basically China going through their 2008 right now. It doesn't look good over there, and there's factories being burned down, or idle factories that people are setting fire and committing arson, and it's just been a disaster. And China really needs to get Xi Jinping to the table to negotiate with the president sooner than later. Japan, as we know, had some delegation here, and the president was speaking with them yesterday. We have the prime minister from Italy there today. More on that in a minute. But let me run this quick spot that I just saw this morning over at Fox, because I think it made some good points.
With God's grace over these past 3 months, and we have had a great 3 months. They say maybe the best 3 months ever for a president. And I think there's a whole new spirit in our country.
So there's the president making the case about America having momentum. He says world leaders are lining up to negotiate new trade deals, and another major partner is coming to the table. In fact, today, and another one tomorrow, and on we go. It's Thursday. Good morning, everybody. Live in New York, I'm Bill Hemmer. How we feeling over there?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Great. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. On this Thursday, President Trump is set to meet with one of our top European allies, the Prime Minister of Italy. So the two are expected to talk trade. This after yesterday's talks with the Japanese delegation. The president touting big progress out of that one.
So meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal is shedding light on the administration's strategy. It says the White House is using the talks to further isolate China, asking a lot of their trading partners to limit the dealings that they may have in the future in exchange for relief on tariffs and a good deal with the U.S.
And House Republican Conference Chair Lisa McClain, she's on deck. But first, let's get to Alexandria Hoff. She's live at the White House. Hi, Alex. Good morning.
Hi, good to be with you. From the European Union's perspective, Prime Minister Meloni is the bridge that they need. You've heard the term Trump whisper being tossed around there. But the fact of the matter is Meloni and President Trump have a good relationship. Compliments have been shared. She actually even attended the president's inauguration. So the EU hopes that today's meeting will help sell the president on a zero-for-zero tariff deal that the EU has been seeking. Meloni, of course, is going to also want to preserve her own good standing. This morning, President Trump highlighted today's meeting and talks with other countries who have been driven to the table. He posted this morning, had a very productive call with the president of Mexico yesterday. Likewise, they met with the highest level Japanese trade representatives. It was a very productive meeting. Every nation, including China, wants to meet today. Italy. Now, there was some surprise that the president was directly involved with the Japanese delegation who was in Washington yesterday, because those talks were seen as preliminary. But the White House says it was important to the president. On China, the White House reiterated this.
The ball is in China's court. They need to do business with the United States. They need the best thing on the face of the planet, and that is the American consumer.
Well, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is concerned about dampened consumer spending and said tariff increases went beyond what banks were anticipating.
The effects of that are likely to move us away from our goals. So unemployment is likely to go up as the economy slows in all likelihood, and inflation is likely to go up as tariffs find their way.
Now, President Trump believes that interest rates should be cut. Now, the Federal Reserve Chair, he says that he wants some clarity on tariffs first, but how much time he has to wait is really put in question this morning as the president posted Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Dana.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Looking beautiful there in the White House sunshine. Thank you.
So let's.
Now, look, I'm not an economist, but I have to agree with the president here at this point. I almost feel like the Fed chair, Chairman Powell, is literally trying to undercut the president here in multiple aspects, you know, between interest rates and other stuff that has gone on since the inauguration, you know, and then coming out and making these statements saying that unemployment's going to go up and you know, the economy is going to crash and all these other wags, you know, wild ass guesses, I would call. That's not something for the chairman of the Federal Reserve to be doing. That's just my opinion. But again, I'm not an economist, so do with that as you may. But I'm just giving you my opinion. I think the guy's a dick. So as I was speaking about earlier, the Prime Minister of Italy is in today speaking with the president. Now, it's interesting to me because they do have a common issue when it comes to automotive that they have to deal with, and that is Stellantis. As the president would love, and as would Senator Bernie Moreno, for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram to be split off from Stellantis itself. And Italy's also been very chummy with China in terms of allowing them, if Stellantis wanted to sell, say, Maserati and Alfa Romeo to a Chinese company. So I think there's going to be a lot of discussions today. And when it comes to the EU, at least the Italian head of state has a good relationship with the president and may be able to work out probably a deal that the EU and the United States can agree to. Right now on the table is 0% for 0%, which, hey, if we can actually get American cars into Europe, and they don't, you know, and again, it comes down to a couple of other things, market, you know, blockers. That would be emission standards and other stuff that the EU is setting. Some of that stuff would have to change in order for our vehicles to be able to be there. So it's not just the tariff. But I leave the question to you. What do you guys think about what's going on right now with tariffs? Do you think the president is close to making one of his biggest first deals to push out there? Because I think he is. I think we're going to see something probably, you know, either later today or tomorrow, before the end of the week, to have something to bookend this week and have optimism going in for the markets come Monday of next week. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.